Thousands of people log their reading updates on Goodreads every day. With all of that data, Goodreads creates lists so that we can see what the majority of our fellow readers are up to. So in this video, we're going to read books from their most read books this year so far list. Two things. This list is 50 books long, so we're not going to be going over every single one of them. We're going to be going over 20, the top 20. Number two, Goodreads is constantly updating this list, so I'm going to be making this video based on the list that was last updated on August 31st. So coming in at number 20, we have Lights Out by Navessa Allen. It definitely says, please check trigger warnings. Number 19 is The Housemaid is Watching, which is the third book in the Frida McFadden's Housemaid series. Number 18 is also from Frida McFadden, The Crash. Number 17 is A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is the third book in the ACOTAR series. Number 16 is Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life, which is also definitely on my radar. Number 15 is the second book in the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. And coming in at number 14, we have Just for the Summer, which is the third book in the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. Wow, it has a 4.36 average rating on Goodreads. So we're going to start with number 14, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is the one where they meet on Reddit, and on Reddit, he basically posts something about whenever him and a girl break up, then that girl goes on to find her soulmate. And she is just like, oh my gosh, me too. But every time I break up with a boyfriend, he goes on to find his soulmate. So then they get the idea that maybe they should date each other for a little while, break up so that they can both go on to find their soulmates. I've actually heard a lot of good things about this book. In general, I feel like Abby Jimenez books are a little bit on the sadder side, so I kind of tend to avoid it a little bit. But this one doesn't sound too sad, which is why I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's start with this book. K-pop Demon Hunters last night. We're probably one of the last people to watch it. We liked it. It was not bad. I don't understand how it went so viral, but the songs were catchy. I think it's like Netflix's #1 watched movie, which, you know, Moon and I had a lot of pride for Korea. I also got to page 202. I read a lot last night. I read a little this morning. The male main character, Justin, is such a dork and I love it. You can just tell he is such a nice guy and you can only help but root for him. And the main female main character, she is also a really likable character. There's this like one thing that she keeps saying and kind of lives by almost as like a life motto. I wrote it down. So basically what she lives by is if you can choose anger or empathy, always choose empathy. And it's kind of like a reoccurring thing that she keeps saying to herself and to people around her. And I like it when I get, no, I bent it. And I like it when you can get good life lessons from a book. So yeah, I'm about there. I'm like pretty much exactly at the halfway point. I think this book is just like 404 pages maybe. Our daughter is sleeping her second nap today. So once she wakes up, we are going to go to the pumpkin patch. I'm going to continue reading this until she wakes up and we have to go. So far, this is my favorite Abby Jimenez book. It does have elements of sadness to it. They both have issues with their respective moms, but it's like done in a way that's like, it's not like devastatingly sad. But obviously, while they're trying to pretend to date a little bit, you know, they're gonna fall for each other. I'm wondering honestly how she's gonna drag out the rest of the 200 pages because I feel like a lot's already happened and like they're already falling for each other. So hopefully it ends strong. Also, if you're wondering why there's a missing couch cushion, it's because my daughter keeps trying to climb everything. So we decided to give her a couch cushion to climb on top of that.
It's taking all that I had to hold myself back from you. Just too attached. Because it kills me.
If there's one thing Abby Jimenez knows how to do, it's how to get you in your feels. This is pulling at my heartstrings. She knows how to write to make me feel sad and go, aww. And I love when authors can write about conversations between an adult and a child and have them have good chemistry. I love it when the adult knows just what to say to the child. And Emma is having great chemistry with Justin's little sister and I'm loving it.
I had to watch it all burn in my hands. And I'll never find better. How could I ever go? Yeah, yeah. And if I never find better, how will I ever know? So I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. What a shame, what a lie, what a mean little joke. It goes on.
done. This was such a good book. Let me get up. I'm just taking time to process this because this was much better than I expected. I know Abby Jimenez writes really good books, but like I said, I just feel like some of them are a little too sad. And this was sad, but it was an okay amount where I could handle it. I read Part of Your World, wasn't really into it. It was like, okay. I read Yours Truly. That one, I felt so sorry for the guy the entire time. This one, I love Justin. He is such a golden retriever. He has these surveys that he gives to her for her to fill out after their dates because they're supposed to go on these dates and then break up and find their soulmate, right? But they're just so cute. I don't know. I just love his energy. I think the last 70 pages or so, it went hard. I was not expecting that. It was like, whoa, where are we going here? Whoa. And then, oh my gosh, 5 stars. This was such a good book. I really wasn't expecting it to be that good. I like how Abby Jimenez explains trauma and PTSD in here. I like how she portrays the relationship with the moms and also shows how to have empathy but also stand up for yourself for your protection. I don't know, everything was just done so well. What I'm also excited about is that this was in my August TBR, but I didn't get to it. And now I know how good of a book this is. So I understand why this is in the top most read books of this year so far. Such a good book. I really, really recommend this. Let's continue on our list of most read books this year so far. So coming in at number 13, we have Funny Story by Emily Henry, which I did read. It's actually my least favorite Emily Henry book so far. Coming in at number 12 is A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in the ACOTAR series. Number 11 is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And number 10 most read books is going to be Quicksilver by Callie Hart, which is going to be our next read. So far, 562,592 people have marked Reddit on Goodreads. So that's not even the amount of people who have read it so far this year. That's the amount of people who have marked Reddit on Goodreads. And just for the summer was 525,764 people who have marked Reddit. Okay, so about 20,000 more people have read this book, give or take. This is book 1 of a series. This is a romantasy, fantasy romance with fae, enemies to lovers. It looks like she is a pickpocketer who one day pickpockets the wrong person, and then she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms, which lands her right in the middle of a centuries-long conflict. And for some reason, it looks like she mistakenly binds herself to Kingfisher, a handsome fae who has agendas of his own. I'm so glad that I get to read one of my most recent purchases. It makes me feel better about myself for purchasing a whole bunch of books. It's 624 pages and it was published on June 4th of last year. Oh, I thought it would be this year. I guess it was last year, but it's still one of the most read books this year. Interesting. I mean, we're already off to such a good start with this 5-star read. This is such a good book. I loved it. And the fact that 20,000 more people have read this book, it makes me anticipate this even that much more.
Don't look at me like that. It's taking all that I had to hold myself back from you.
Good morning. My parents said that they want to come visit, so I'm looking up flight tickets right now. I'm wondering if this time I should just let them know that I have a YouTube channel. Instead of trying to film in secret, I could just film in front of them. Although that would also be a little too embarrassing. I'm not sure if I could do that. I'll think about it. Got it. Time for a reading update. I'm a little bit over 100 pages. I'm on page 112 and this has a little bit over 600 pages. Honestly, I'm a little bored. Have you ever had a situation where you meet new people and those people talk about someone that they know that you don't know? And because you don't know who that person is, you don't really care what they're talking about. That's how I feel about this book so far. Our female main character, she doesn't know what's going on, so in turn, I don't know what's really going on. And everyone around her seems to understand what the situation is, except for her. And me as the reader is just kind of like, okay, I'm like in the same boat as her where I'm like, is anybody gonna fill me in here? Like, what's going on? But we're just like kind of being dragged along as they are having conversations about how dangerous certain things are and what we need to do. But you're not fully understanding the gravity of the situation because you just don't know. So yeah, so far, I mean, like, I feel like not much has happened yet. What was in the synopsis has pretty much happened where she opened the gateway between realms. But for the most part, I'm like, when's something gonna happen? I don't know. I guess this is over 600 pages, so I have a long way to go. But so far, a little bit over 100 pages, and I don't know that I would have continued on if I didn't know that this was hyped. And I'm also happy to report that the little glittery stuff on the edges of the silvered edges is not really making an impact on my fingers. I haven't noticed anything so far. It's not making a mess. Thank goodness. So I'm about there, and I'll check in when I feel like things are starting to kind of get better or more interesting. Please get more interesting. There has to be a reason why this is hyped, right?
And I will never find better. How could I ever go? Yeah, yeah. And if I never find better, how will I ever know? So I'm damned if I do.
Am I missing something here? I thought if I read a little bit more, I'd understand what's going on and be more interested, but I'm not sure that I still understand what's going on. I'm on page 428 and I'm just not interested. The main character, she still is kind of not really understanding what's going on, just going with the flow, being told what to do. I don't know. Why is this book so popular? I don't understand. I'm trying really hard not to DNF this book so that I could give this an honest and fair review. And I have a little less than 200 pages left, but it's so hard to get through. But I will soldier on. Okay, let's finish this.
What a shame, what a lie, what a mean.
Like, this is what I'm saying. There's a song in here. Why are you making it this so long? Like, it takes up all this, and this, and all of you. Am I supposed to read all of this and sing it in my head? It's like an incredibly long riddle, and I'm not even interested in the book.
Little joke, it goes
Good morning. I finished Quicksilver at 1:37 a.m. last night. I know, I shouldn't have stayed up that late, but I just didn't want to start today with having to still finish this book. I feel like everyone else is reading this book in color and I'm colorblind. Like, what am I not seeing here? That feeling about not being able to contribute to the conversation, I thought it was just the beginning of the book, but no, I felt like it was pretty much the entire book. Like, the entire conversation we were not a part of. Anytime something was happening, she was kind of like, what's going on? They explain a little bit and then she's like, what's that? So she was just kind of like in the dark the entire time almost. Our FMC is strong. She has very great skills as a fighter, but this book didn't make her feel very smart. And I don't blame her because I felt like she was kept in the dark. There was no showing that she's really strategic with her thinking and she couldn't really contribute to the situation except for like one way. And it was just like her being dragged along by him and just kind of doing what he's telling her to do. It's what I felt like. Overall, it was just kind of a boring read. And the fact that it's over 600 pages, criminal. 2 stars. I'm sorry if you like this book. I'll say some good things. I like the chemistry between them. It was not bad. And Quicksilver, an interesting concept. Let me check the Goodreads rating. 4.34 stars? Okay, obviously, I'm the problem and this book is wonderful. Apparently. Yeah, something's wrong with me. What? Well, this was our number 10 most read book of this year so far. Let's move on. Now, coming in at number 9, we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR, the first book. Number 8, we have The Women by Kristen Hanna. And number 7, we have The Wedding People by Alison Esbach. And that is the book that we're going to read. It makes me nervous when books come in these kinds of packages because I feel like it's going to get damaged. But since this is a hardback, it's totally fine. I was trying to get this from the library, but it was just way too popular and the waitlist was way too long. So purchased it. It came this morning along with my granola. It feels nice to be able to hold a smaller book. This was really heavy to hold as I was reading. It does make me feel a little accomplished since I read this thick of a book. But I'm so excited to read The Wedding People. I've been wanting to read this since last year. This has 788,276 ratings. I brought these because I think I'll be using them for this book. I see some pretty good lines in here already. I'm definitely already liking it more than Quicksilver for sure. I'm on page 26 right now. I thought I would give a little synopsis because I didn't get to do that earlier. So basically our female main main character is going through a divorce and she's just not really happy with her life. She goes to this hotel to off herself, but there she meets a lady who is having her wedding there. It's gonna be like a week-long celebration, and they meet in the elevator. The main character, Phoebe, tells her the truth. I'm here to off myself. And the bride's like, no, you can't. It's my wedding week. Also, this just helps my wrist. I think this book is so interesting because it reads like a stream of consciousness. You can see that they were slowly drifting apart from each other because they were having so much trouble, and I guess because they were also kind of living mundane lives. I mean, I'm not that far into the book yet, but I can see how it would cause the marriage to strain a little. But throughout this book, I think it's supposed to be about bonding. I think female bonding. She gets close with the bride and they just really connect. So right now the vibes aren't too depressing. It's just, oh, I see, they're struggling. The back has quotes saying it's very funny and witty, so I'm expecting it to be a good time still, even though the core of this story is a little depressing. But let's keep reading.
I don't wanna call you later. You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page.
Remember when I said that this book felt very much like being an outsider and everyone has their inside jokes and secrets? Well, she is literally the outsider. She doesn't know anybody at this wedding. The entire hotel is filled with only guests of the wedding, and she felt more in the circle than the other book. But yes, I finished. You can see the tabs. It was such an interesting read. I felt like it was really beautifully written and you can get a lot of life lessons from it. It was sad at times, but it was also said with a kind of light tone that didn't make you feel depressed. So I liked it, but the overall story, it's not my type of storyline. And for those of you who read it, you know what I'm saying. I don't like it when that particular situation happens. And the ending was, it was not satisfying. Even if I don't like the situation with her and, I don't like how this book ended. Like, if you're gonna make something like that happen in the book, just make it full circle and please just make it satisfying. But I did like the bond between them. I liked how they were talking about real friendships and talking about real things and making a human connection, as opposed to just catching up with each other every so often and kind of knowing only the surface level about the other person. So that was quite refreshing to see. Overall, I think it's a good book. I'm gonna give it 4 stars because it was written so well. Some things did touch me. Obviously, you can see that I've tabbed a couple of pages or a few of them. But as a storyline for what happens with her and somebody else, I'm not that into that kind of storyline. But yeah, I'm glad I read it. So in this case, I'm glad that more people read this one compared to Quicksilver. I'm sorry to keep hating on this book. This will be the last book I'm reading for this video, but just to top off the rest of the list, number 6 is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. Number 5 is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Number 4 is The Housemaid, the first book by Frida McFadden. Number 3 is Iron Flame, the second book in the Empyrean series. Number 2 is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, the first book in the whole series. And the number 1 read book is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, which is the third book in the Empyrean series. It has an average rating of 4.21 stars and 1,422,512 ratings at the time of reading this list. I can't believe that many people read the third book in a series, and it's a thick book too. But yeah, that was the top 20 most read books this year. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Do you agree with it? Is it something that you guys would have expected or not expected? I personally, these 2 books were really good. I enjoyed reading them. Obviously, especially this one. This one was the most surprising. I don't understand why it's so popular and has such a high rating, which makes me really suspicious of the ratings. Like, I feel like I can't trust them anymore because I don't agree with the majority of the population using Goodreads. I don't know. However, all 3 books were not the most peppy vibe, so I need to go outside and touch grass. I need to go read a light-hearted book because I think at this point, a little overwhelmed with how much emotion I had to put into these 2 and the energy I had to give to read and finish this book. With this challenge, this was the most that I've read in a week, so I'm very happy with how much I was able to accomplish. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!